Blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening. Depending on where in the world you are tapping in from, you got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show. And today, on this episode of B1 Sports, we will be discussing how a racist panic over sneaker murders changed Michael Jordan. In a 1990 In 1990, an explosive cover story fed the era's fear-mongering and demanded that the megastar account for it. Are you are you guys trying to blame Michael Jordan for shootings, killings, murders? But you're not trying to. No video game makers ever, no Call of Duty, no Gear medals, no Witcher Warcraft, no Fortnite shooting, none of that has contributed to little Johnny shooting up the school. Nope, 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 no. Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, first person shooter games. No. That is not why Lil Alex went and shot up the grocery store. That is not why. No. It has absolutely nothing to do with the multi-billion-dollar white and Asian. No. Nothing to do with that sector. No. But Michael Jordan selling them Jordan sneakers. Oh my gosh, it's killing the America. It's dastardly. He needs to be held accountable. Because he's black, perhaps? No, this isn't us caping for Michael Jordan. It is what it is. You know who he is. Your air raccoons. No, nobody's caping for fan. But what I'm not gonna do is sit here and badmouth and degrade him as though there's not other problems like white supremacy that are the cause of what's going on or why the black community is the way it is. We don't need no male people coming and telling us what's going on in our community and if any of our figures or leaders or what have you are doing their job or not doing their job well. We don't need your help. I think you need to focus on what you guys got going on. Maybe if you cut that check, and that's why y'all won't cut that check, because you know that you would probably not hear from us. We would go about our lives minding our own business like we usually do 75% of the time. But you got those 25% of Akuna Matatas that just can't help to get entangled in other people's mess. The article states for a moment, this is by Johnny Smith from Slate. For a moment, Rick Telander thought Michael Jordan looked like he might cry. In 1990, the senior writer from Sports Illustrated approached Jordan before practice and told him about the murder of a 15-year-old black boy named Michael Eugene Thomas. About a year earlier, the ninth grader from Anne Arundel, Maryland, had paid $115.50 for a pair of Air Jordans. That was in 1990. That's not that much inflation. What are they, 150, 200? I mean, obviously they can go outrageous, but I'm just saying compared to a video game around this time that was how much? And now you're paying almost $100. But we're not going to talk about the video games and the violence that they cause and all the money and multi-billion dollars that's been spent in lobbying, in donations, in super PACs, so that no one will call out video game industry for the violence in the male community. They won't do it. The young fan worshipped, we had to say worshipped. He worshipped the star, that therefore making it Michael Jordan's responsibility to police the world because that's what black people have been. Right, right. That's what we've been, the police of the world, all the while the same time getting beat down by the police, right? You want us to fix everything. And we need you to come march. Look, they was discriminated over there. Call the black people. They need to show up on the scene. Call the NAACP. They for everybody. Call the Urban League. They for everybody. Call the Black Coon Caucus. You know they for everybody. Well, call the AAPI. Was this about Asian stuff? Oh well, no, we don't really do that. We don't really, if it ain't about us, we don't really get involved with that. Well, call the Hispanic. Did you call the Hispanic caucus? Yeah, what's going on? It's about Hispanic people. No, no, nothing to do with Hispanic. Sorry. We really want to help you, black people, but you really don't have nothing to do with us. So we're not gonna. We just can't do it. Our donors, and all our supporters, they expect us to do things strictly and only for our community. You understand, don't you, black people? He worshiped the Chicago Bulls star in the shoes embroidered with his silhouette, that making them his, and their Negro shoes. You see that Negro embroidered on the shoe. They're his shoes, and he should take responsibility for them. You see that rock star emblem on that video game right there? No, no, no. On the GTA game that you can run around shooting and killing and robbing prostitutes and being a drug dealer and being a burglar and a robber and a mass murderer. No, that's not responsible for nothing. Continues, every night he took his sneakers out of a black shoebox and polished them proudly. See, what I see there is a young brother that was 15. He worked hard. They won't tell you that. Ninth grader, he worked hard. He probably mowed lawns, shoveled snow, whatever it took for him to earn money, to save up to buy those shoes. See, and then what did he do after buying them? He took care of his stuff. Because that's what we do when we invest in something, when we care about something, we take pride in it. But the problem is it's turned us into some of the biggest consumer on the planet. And we need to consume in our own communities, in our own businesses. It continues. But about 2 weeks after he brought the Air Jordan, school children found him barefoot in the woods, strangled face down in a puddle. Shortly thereafter, police charged his 17-year-old basketball buddy, James David Martin, with his first-degree murder. Jordan sighed. He didn't know what to say, sitting in a private room at the team's suburban practice facility in Deerfield, Illinois. So he was probably just a young man at the time. And so then you're going to come to the young black man and then put all of the burden on the whole black community on this one black man, because that's what it is. Each and every one of you black people carry the burden of the black community on your shoulders every time you speak. Every time you are out and about, you are representing not just yourself. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't think it's fair. I don't care. You are representative of our community, you bed wenches, you Buster Douglases, you Akuna Matatas. I don't disparage, we don't disparage on this program, but I'm getting sick of it. It continues. Jordan struggled to process an incomprehensible and heinous crime. I can't believe it, he said. Choked to death by his friend. Jordan asked Telander is if he knew about similar crimes. Unfortunately, Telander explained he had read numerous accounts like this one. It is in his jarring story he wrote about the frightening outbreak of crimes among poor black kids assaulting and sometimes killing one another for sneakers and starter jackets. After collecting stories, you didn't go to starter, did you? Did you go to starter? Did you ask starter the same question? Did you put the same burden on starter's back? Did you do that? Did you do that? In fact, is this not one of the first examples of cancel culture? Is this not an attempt to cancel Michael Jordan, a young black entrepreneur? Is this not that? Is it not that? It continues. Uh, After collecting stories from Chicago newspapers and Sports Illustrated National News Bureau, Telander concluded that the crimes were not new, but the pace of the carriage had quickened. So it's only in Chicago they was. So you picked Chicago, and now it was just national. It happened everywhere. It happened in a community. Crime happens in a community. Robberies happen in a community, and it's going to be the people in that community who target one another. Crimes of proximity, like white on white crime. Were there no white people who stole Jordans? Were there none? Were there none? Of course there were. Of course there were. Right. Of course there was. Come on now. Telander concluded that the crimes were not new, but it was on the uptick. In April of that year, New York Post columnist Phil Mushmouth, a cynical crusader disillusioned with the greed and hypocrisy of sports, focused right on Michael Jordan because he was tired of the hypocrisy and the greed in all of sports, but he decided to focus on the black player, Michael Jordan. But he was against everybody, all the hypocrisy in sports and greed. But Michael Jordan, he's the face of hypocrisy and greed in sports. Yeah, not the white owners. No, don't go after the white owners. No. He blamed Nike sports spokesman Jordan and Spike Lee for a wave of inner city killing. Oh, Spike Lee got into the fray. So you're a crusader, a cynical crusader, disillusioned with the greed and hypocrisy of sports, and you went after two black men. None of the white owners. No. No, 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 no. No. Spike Lee and Michael Jordan are the culprits. Okay. He claimed that the crimes had morphed into an epidemic. Shortly thereafter, Sports Illustrated published Telander's sensational cover story, Your Sneakers or Your Life, which created a simple narrative black kids killed other black kids for shoes worn by the great black basketball hero. Bang, bang, boom. Yep. Sports Illustrated. That's what they did. Yep. New York Post. That's what they did. Yep. They're all in on it. I can't. Is that not systematic? That's not systemic? No. We got two publications, mainstream media, preparing and pushing a narrative, black on black crime. No. All in an attempt to destroy a young black man who is becoming an entrepreneur, right? And he's getting his piece of the pie. He's getting his small piece of an American pie. And no, we have to bash him, but we will not talk about no one white in this story. We won't talk about the white owners. No, we won't do it. For the first time in his career, people began questioning Jordan's influence upon black youth. Listen, man, we support our black heroes, we love our black heroes, but our black heroes are not to be raising our children. That is your job, black parents. That's your job. And just because someone's black and they can put a basketball in a hoop does not make them a mentor for your children. It does not make them a role model for your children. Black people. It's not true. It's not true. It continues. The public scrutiny would force him to confront his own role in the nation's racial divide. Would you, the so Michael? This is funny. So the Michael Jordans, so these Air Raccoon shoes is what played a role in the racial divide in 1990. Not just 20 years previously, Jim Crow. No, nothing to do with that. Not the systems, not the slave patrol, none of that. Not none of the policies that Bill Clinton put into place, none of the policies Joe Biden put into place, none of the policies that the Black Coon Caucus supported, none of the policies that Ronald Reagan put in place. No, no, no. That has nothing to do with the nation's racial divide. It is solely the responsibility of Michael Jordan and Spike Lee. Black people, black men specifically, you are the problem. If it wasn't for you, why can't you just be good Negroes and shut up and play ball? Despite all the praise he had received for supposedly transcending race, which he did revitalize basketball all by himself, along with many other black players, sparked Jordan's realization that he could never really evade the burden of representing Black America. And no, he did very well. He evaded, skated very well. He did that very well. In Chicago, where Telander lived, the city pages devoted copious amounts of ink covering two phenomena: the ascendance of Jordan and rising wave of violent crime between 1989 and 1990. Chicago's murder rate climbed 14.5%. City aldermen decried a murder epidemic that afflicted Chicago's youth. One survey found that 74% of Chicago school students had witnessed a murder, shooting, stabbing, or robbery, and nearly half of them had been victims themselves. For middle class America, far removed from the country's urban centers, black people, cities resembled lawless war zones. Violent crime, news reported, much of it drug related. It is on the rise in virtually every city in America. I thought it was in Chicago. I thought it was only in Chicago. I thought it was Chicago. Chicago, Chicago, Chicago. Michael Jordan, Chicago. Chicago. Inner city neighborhoods, black, are disintegrating in an escalating cycle of mayhem. Word salad. Increasingly in the 1980s in Chicago and other cities, white reporters treated violent transgressions like spectacles, embellishing an image of a black underclass that produced roving hordes of violent juvenile delinquents. You mean like the ones that little Tommy in video games of shooting up the schools and killing school children and shooting up the grocery store and old ladies? And you mean like that? No, you can't mean like that. It continues. When the sun sets on Chicago's west side, the armies of the night come out to play. Paul Weingarten wrote for the Tribune. People in the neighborhoods retreat into their homes, or they're braved to their porches and wait. Out in the night, a new order takes shape. It is an alien world, strange and incomprehensible, and where junior highs kids carry shotguns and no one ventures out unarmed. Alien world? You mean like illegal aliens in Chicago right now? With the crime skyrocketing? You ain't want to talk about that, huh? No? We ain't gonna talk about the migrants all over Chicago? Crime? No, only black people. Okay. The alarm over sneaker crimes reflected a growing anxiety over juvenile super predators, radically impulsive, brutally remorseless youngsters, including ever more pre-teenage boys who murder, assault, rape, rob, burglarize, deal, deal deadly drugs, join gun-toting gangs, and create serious communal disorders. Wow. Wow. Or you can have little Johnny just come shoot up your school in one fatal swoop from a shotgun from a assault rifle he got from his dad for Christmas. Or you can have that too, but we won't talk about that. And juvenile super predators, you know who came up with that lingo? Your good old president. Yeah. That's who came up with that. Jose, make it rain on everybody but black people Biden. That's exactly who. That's exactly who. They just got more and more and more and more and more and more about how you are disgusting black people. And I'm not going to read it all. I mean, it is just scroll after scroll after scroll. I'm going to take it down to the last paragraph. We would tell the parents to tell their please give it up. Give up the clothing. If the child is being robbed, yes, give it up. The jacket, the shoes, give it up. Then Jordan says something without thinking through the implications. They should tell the kids I will buy them a replacement. Not Nike, he insisted, but Jordan himself. He would replace the stolen shoes. Oh my gosh, that's not even the there was more scroll. Wow. And yet the crime stories attached to his name weighed on Jordan, exposing his vulnerability in the way that little else did. He simply couldn't make sense of the awful violence in America's cities. It just makes me so sad. The whole thing, everything is changing. Jordan didn't have the answers to the sneaker murders, and he quickly realized that nothing good came from talking about it. Burying his feelings helped bury the story. So he buried the story. That's what happened. There's no story. Crime happens everywhere. Robberies happen everywhere, every day, especially in Mayo suburbia. We know that to be factual. Thank you very much. What did we learn here today, boys and girls? At any and all cost, whatever it takes to demonize the black man. Period. You just seen it. I don't care what you say. You seen it. I just showed you. I ain't even read all of the mess. There was pages and pages that I scrolled through, all against you, black people. It was. And if you still mess with any of the people in this article who you clearly heard bashed you and stood behind all the mess, then you're a Kuna Matata. You just are. And that's what I really wanted to play on this because it all came out. It all came out. What came out? What came out? You might have to listen to this twice. If you want to read the whole article for yourself, you see the title right there. But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. Gonna leave you with 4 words, as we always do around this time. Love, subscribe for the vibe, like for the spite, comment your vomit, share if you care, if you dare, and you say where over there on all the following platforms. Low love, peace, blessings, and Maloha. I gotta go high for show high. You already know how. Big brother, light bright supreme. Oh my T. Signing off.
Von Savage Media. Von Savage Media.